Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the very best dash cams of 2020. And to help me out, I've got a special guest here with me today.
Hi guys, I'm Alex from BlackboxMyCar. I'm the founder and owner at BlackboxMyCar.
And for those of you guys who don't know, BlackboxMyCar, they're the biggest distributor of dash cams in North America. So obviously Alex is going to have a ton of experience and awesome information to share with you guys. As you guys probably remember, last year around this time, we did another video as well. It was about an hour long where we went into crazy amount of detail and discussion about all these different dash cams.
We did.
It was a lot of fun, but obviously it was a pretty in-depth video.
Yes.
And so I think in this video, we're going to try to simplify things and make it easier to help determine which dash cam you should buy. You can definitely, in the video description, we'll link to last year's video.
For sure.
And I guess maybe we've got a couple different dash cams at different tiers and different price points. Maybe we can go over the different categories of dash cams, and then we'll start kind of diving into what dash cams are best for different categories. So I guess starting off, we've got our best budget dash cam around the $100 price point or so. We've also got the best 2-channel budget dash cam, so not just recording in the front, but also front and rear. We've got the best premium dash cams for those of you who want the ultimate level of video quality as well as features. And there's also going to be the best dash cams for rideshare drivers. So those of you who drive for Uber or Lyft, we're going to be addressing you guys as well. And then finally at the very end, we're also going to be talking about the best accessories that are available that you can add to your dash cam. Now for all of the dash cams, we're going to link to all of them down in the video description. And there's also a coupon code that you can use for any of these dash cams. Use the coupon code Vortex25 and it'll save you guys 5% off any dash cam you choose. All right, and so starting off, let's start off talking about the best budget and affordable dash cams.
Right, so we had this conversation for about close to 3 hours this morning.
Yeah.
Because we want to make this video really straightforward for our viewers. And we both came to a conclusion that the budget front-only dash cam would be Viofo
A119 V3.
There are many dash cams, especially around under $100 region, but with Viofo A119 V3, they've been making this dash cam for quite some time. And as a result of that, the dash cam has been optimized for good video quality both during daytime and nighttime. You seem to really like the nighttime video quality of the A119 V3 especially.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest updates with the new V3 over the V2 is they use a new Sony Starvis sensor, much more sensitive, and one of the two biggest differences is it's much more sensitive in low light capabilities compared to the V2. It just does a much better job at night.
For sure. Another thing about Viofo is that they now have this buffered parking mode system. So traditionally dash cams around under $100 or under $200 from, let's say, China didn't really come with true parking mode that Blackvue or Thinkware, only any Korean dash cams used to offer.
Some of the premium dash cams.
The premium dash
kind
cams.
of a premium dash cam feature, which is now available in a dash cam that's $100.
That's true. And Viofo has been working on this sort of parking mode for years now. And fun side fact, we've been working with Viofo for the last 4 or 5 years now, and I can tell that they've been really working towards optimizing their system, not only just on the good video quality, but reliability side as well as parking mode. So it's only been about, I'd say 4 or 5 months, about 6 months since they came out with this parking mode firmware update. But so far it seems to work well. Obviously, if we dive deeper into parking mode, we still prefer Blackvue and Thinkware Korean dash cams that they've been making dash cams with parking mode for almost over a decade or a lot longer.
Yeah, they're still more advanced, some of the premium dash cams, but we're finally at the point where some of the budget dash cams, at least in my opinion, I mean, it seems like it gives us the basic core functionality we need. It may not be as fancy as some of the dash cams that cost $300, $400, $500, but it gives you the core features that you need.
Exactly. And also we like the fact that it's got GPS for the price range, and the GPS itself is, it comes as a mount itself, and therefore it's not external in a way. It is external, but you're not necessarily mounting somewhere else.
Yeah, it's nice. Like the GPS mount, it's built into the mount, so it's kind of nice and integrated. The GPS, it doesn't give you any turn-by-turn navigations or anything.
That's true.
But it gives you GPS information displayed on screen to show you where you were, your speed. If you want, you can actually turn it off. It also has some nice things, like it makes it easier to remove the dash cam without having to unplug cables, and the cable routing is handled better and stuff. I guess kind of the dash cam as a whole, you're looking at great video quality. It records at 1440p, so even higher than full HD 1080p. Great low light sensitivity. The parking mode that you were mentioning, like a lot of dash cams have parking mode capabilities, but usually they're pretty simplistic, meaning they can do maybe motion detection or time-lapse recording. But what I like about the new V3 version of the A119 is the parking mode gives you now buffered parking, which what that means is normally dash cams are kind of in like a sleep state, and in case somebody hits your car, the dash cam would take about a second or so to wake up and begin recording. And you may actually record the car in front of you driving away or something, but you're going to miss the actual impact. What the new dash cams can do with buffered parked recording, it means that the dash cam is actually recording continuously, and in case of an impact, it'll save a period of time, let's say 10, 15 seconds before the impact, so that you actually get footage of the entire thing. The person actually backing into your car, you can see them hit your car and then drive away. So if you're looking to capture the entire event,
that's right.
That's where buffered parking recording comes into play, and that's the big new, in addition to the low light capabilities, kind of the big new feature of the new V3 version of the A119. And so the dash cam is available $120 or so for the dash cam. There's different accessories that you can get, which we'll kind of go into here at the end of the video. But for those of you looking for the best inexpensive dash cam, again, there's 1,001 dash cams available at the low price point.
Especially on marketplaces. We see them a lot, and we're going to talk about that later in this video.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about that because there's a ton of other dash cams. But just to keep it simple, our best pick at this price point is going to be the A119 V3. All right, so now moving on to those of you who want an inexpensive 2-channel dash cam, meaning you want a dash cam that not only records the front, but also records behind you. Our best pick for this is going to be the Viofo A129 Duo.
It's another Viofo dashcam, 2-channel variant of a 2-channel system of a Viofo A119, essentially. It's a great bang for buck, really. You get
That's kind of their specialty, being a good bang for the buck.
Exactly, and usually this category is for the Chinese dashcam manufacturers. But at the end of the day, Viofo for A129, it's about $169 US for a really good video quality capable dashcam that's front and back. And reliability, from what we know so far, we've been working with them for the last 5 years. The video quality is not only improving, but also the reliability is also improving at the same time. We meet with them every year at the Hong Kong Electronic Expo, and they're always out there promoting their stuff, and their video quality seems to also get better, as well as their reliability. And therefore, for this price range, we both agree, even though you're testing a lot more the affordable dash cams, you seem to really like the Viofo A129.
Yeah, the A129. I, to be honest, actually prefer the A119 V3 just because I find it records in 1440p as opposed to the A129 records in 1080p. So the 129, the resolution is a little bit lower. The low light sensitivity isn't quite as good, but the case has been redesigned, so it's got a better design and a better case. It obviously adds the rear camera, so it can record 1080p front and rear. And then like the new V3 version of the A119, it also adds buffered parked recording.
That's true. That's another one for around under, what, $200?
Under $200, yeah, for front and rear. It's a great bang for the buck with tons of features and good video quality as well. GPS is available. It also adds Wi-Fi, which the A119 does not have.
That's true. The Wi-Fi does actually help out if you want to view your videos over the phone, even though it's got its own LCD monitor.
Yeah, and the LCD on the back is convenient to change settings and view stuff. But I mean, in case you get in an accident, you're able to just pull up the Wi-Fi and just stream the video right to your phone. So you've got it while you're standing on the side of the road and not having to look just at the dash cam in the car. You can just pull it right up on the phone, and it makes it really convenient to transfer the video footage to your phone, to send to insurance, or just watch whenever you need or share with people. So
that's true. And another thing about A129 is that usually some companies just offer LCD monitor, and they don't offer the Wi-Fi as a result of the LCD monitor.
Either or,
But then the Viofo comes with both Wi-Fi function and as well as the LCD. But the LCD is just too small. I don't think you would really you would use that to review videos. But
it's more of just like initially when you're mounting the dash cam and you're aiming the lens and whatnot, just to make sure it's angled properly to go in and quickly change settings and stuff. So it's convenient on the fly. And then you can set the LCD to turn off after the dash cam turns on, just to keep it dark in your cabin. But it's nice to just use that for initial setup, and then the Wi-Fi for really going in and transferring footage and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are going to be our two picks for the more budget-friendly options, under $200 or so. Now, for those of you who want more of the premium level dash cams, these are going to be giving you even better video quality, plus a lot of really nice bonus features that help create a better experience. So as far as now moving into the premium tier of dash cams, what would you say would be some of the top picks here?
So again, we talked about this for hours this morning. And we chose what? A129.
The A129 Pro. Again, I guess another Viofo.
Another Viofo.
This is the 4K version of the A129 that we just talked about, as well as the new Thinkware U1000 that also records in 4K. And I guess maybe one of the big things that we kind of went back and forth on this for a while is this year we're actually not including the Blackvue DR900S, which feels kind of weird to me because I'm a huge Blackvue fan. I run 4 Blackvue dash cams in my car. I've run them for years. They were the first 4K option. But the new 4K dash cams that have recently come out, it's not that Blackvue is a bad option, it's just that the new 4K dash cams actually have even better video quality, and they have some nice improvements that we didn't see from the Blackvue DR900S.
But at the end of the day, we have to give it to Blackvue in a way that Blackvue released the DR900S 2CH as a very first 4K dash cam to the market almost 2 years ago.
Yeah,
year and a half to 2 years ago. So we're basically, I mean, now Thinkware kind of cut up to 4K offer for the front and 2K in the back actually. And whatchamacallit, A129 Pro Duo would be now 4K in the front and full HD in the back. But again, like Blackvue was the very first one to do so. But as a result, these are the new offers, new 4K, the latest 4K dash cam, and therefore we're kind of, all over the new dash cams because obviously they wanted to make something better than the DR900S. But we still like the DR900S.
I'm a fan of it. I still run it in my car, and it's got a bunch of really cool features that these other dash cams don't have, so I definitely want to talk about it as well. There's some key differences here that I've noticed with the next generation of 4K dash cams. Compared to the previous ones, I'm noticing even better detail and video quality. I'm noticing much better low light capabilities, and it is more sensitive at night. And I know one of the big issues before is 4K dash cams, the sensors inside, they generate a lot of heat. And so a lot of the 4K dash cams tend to overheat. And so the dash cams that are coming out now, the companies have spent more time just making sure that they do better in really high heat scenarios. Now, that said, a lot of these dash cams, like the A129 Pro and the Thinkware U1000, just recently came out, and they're coming out in kind of fall, winter. And so we haven't had a chance to fully test some of the some of the high heat stuff, but I know you've got a little insight into kind of that aspect of it too.
For sure. Well, I mean, we keep in touch with our suppliers, and so we get to kind of hear from their testing, any new products, to what's coming and why is it being delayed and whatnot. Actually, both companies, Viofo and Thinkware, had to delay their 4K products because they wanted to make sure their products are perfected before it gets released. And I know for a fact that with Thinkware especially, it was supposed to come out a lot, Q1 of 2019, but they delayed it to make sure that the heat issue is 100% fixed. And at the same time, the U1000 actually offers both 4K and 2K. It's the first dashcam to offer 4K in the front and 2K in the back.
2K. Most dashcams are only 1080p in the rear.
Exactly.
This is now 1440p in the rear.
So not only the heat issue, but also they need to make sure that the video compression is up to speed with processing power and the writing speed onto the micro SD card. And this is where I kind of give it to Blackvue at first, just because, and I think I also said this in our video, Blackvue's been an innovator really in this market. They're the first one to create full HD dashcam like almost 8-9 years ago. And the Wi-Fi dashcam, that was first ever. And parking mode, and at the same time the 4K, and actually full HD dual channel system was actually also first by Blackvue.
And so there's been a lot of kind of new stuff that's come out since the Blackvue was introduced maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago. And maybe from the perspective of somebody who's run a Blackvue dashcam for a while, it does have a couple advantages over the Thinkware U1000. I find the Thinkware does have more advantages, which I'll cover here in a second, but what I notice is with the Blackvue, first off, the cloud functionality is a lot better. So if you want to pair it with your phone, and in case you get into an accident, it can go out through the cloud to maybe send a notification to the phone. Or one of the things that I actually use it the most for is using my Blackvue dashcam as a security camera. So I actually put a Wi-Fi hotspot in my car, and so even if my car is parked, whether I'm driving or parked, the dashcam can always go out and send notifications to my phone, or I can check in remotely from anywhere and see how the camera is doing, which I love that feature. It's not only a dashcam, but it's like a security camera. And Thinkware has cloud functionality too, but it's best suited to driving. Is a lot fewer features when you're parked. So I love those extra features. There's also things like the Blackvue has better parked impact notifications. So in case of a hit and run, the Blackvue will ignore any impacts, maybe 3 minutes recently, like you getting back in your car and closing the trunk or closing the door. The Blackvue will ignore that stuff and also just tell you that something happened.
An impact was detected during parking mode.
And whereas the Thinkware would say, I saw 2 impacts or 3 impacts, and you have to kind of figure out was one you or not.
That's right.
During parking mode, event detection recording. 2. Occurred. Continuous recording will now start. GPS connected.
And there's also little things like the cable that connects the front camera to the rear is a lot thinner with the Blackvue, so it's just easier to route when you're wiring it into your car, especially when you're doing a bunch of dash cams like I run. So there's some advantages here with the Blackvue, but when I started running the Thinkware, and it's only been out a few weeks or so, like not very long.
Yeah, about a month now.
Yeah.
About a month and a half now, actually.
Month and a half, yeah. And I've only been running it for a short period of time, but I'm actually finding a ton of advantages over the Blackvue. The biggest difference that I noticed is the video quality is actually quite a bit better. If you try to zoom in and take a look at license plates, they both record at 4K, but I find that the Thinkware does a much better job of capturing any important details like license plates. The Thinkware uses a new Sony Starvis sensor, which is much better when it comes to low light sensitivity. For the rear camera, it records at now 2K or 1440p instead of 1080p. So again, you're going to have better detail when it comes to the rear camera. Reliability has been a concern with the Blackvue cameras, primarily like with the high heat issues, and it sounds like that's something that's been improved now with the Thinkwares.
That's right.
What about just kind of, I've heard people having some issues with the Blackvue dash cams. I've had some issues myself, and so what about not necessarily heat stuff, but overall reliability? What have you seen between the dash cam manufacturers?
Well, the thing about Dashcam is that they sit in your vehicle, cold or hot, inside your vehicle, write video constantly, and there are many moving parts, essentially. So this is why reliability is something that is very important, and that's why sometimes why are Dashcams $400 versus what can I buy Dashcams for $50? And there are both options available, and therefore premium Dashcams tend to do better in that case. And ideally for me, I mean, to be very specific, I'd say Thinkware Dashcams seem to be a lot more reliable, just because they do basically from manufacturing to business development to basically supplying to suppliers and so forth. They have their own factories. Perhaps because of that, their quality assurance is better than other dashcam brands, perhaps. And as a result of those reasons, we tend to highly recommend and enjoy Thinkware Dashcams, just because their support is also there. They actually have 2 offices here in North America, one in Canada, one in California. So their support network is a lot faster or better than any other suppliers from perhaps overseas. Having said that, those issues can all be fixed as long as you're talking to suppliers and manufacturers or your vendors and so forth. Yeah.
Cool. So I guess that's kind of a little bit more background and context as far as reliability. Maybe coming back to the dash cams, I guess a couple more advantages of things that I like with the Thinkware. It's got a red light camera and speed camera alerts actually built into the dash cam, kind of like Waze and different apps, but you've got it just built into the dash cam.
That's right.
There's some things like it has ADAS.
Whatchamacallit, lane departure warning system.
Yeah.
Front collision warning system. And the last one is, let's say a car moves forward and you are stopped, it will actually tell you to drive forward. I forget what the term was.
Yeah, it's like if you happen to be sitting at a red light staring at your phone and the car ahead of you starts moving.
Exactly, it tells you.
The dash cam will give you a friendly reminder. So I find that stuff to be kind of annoying, to be honest, so I turn it off, but there are some cool features like that are available.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely enjoy using the red light cam function and also the speed cam function.
There's other things too, like the rear camera can be added at any time with the Thinkware, and this was kind of annoying when I upgraded from the DR750S to the 900. I already had the rear camera, and I just wanted to add the newer higher resolution front camera, and if I bought the single channel version only, it didn't have a port to add in the rear camera, so I had to buy an all-new 2-channel version again, whereas with the Thinkware, you can just easily plug in a new rear camera, or even if you decide to buy just the front one out of the gate, you can always buy the rear one later and add it in. So that's kind of a cool like upgrade feature as well.
Yep, and that's why our customers also like that. Sometimes buying 2-channel from a get-go is a big investment, and we understand that, and I think Thinkware seem to understand that as well, and therefore they offer 1-channel variant, and 1-channel variant can expand it as a 2nd channel, 2-channel system overall.
Yeah, and I know like the cable itself, it uses USB connectors on Thinkware, so I know you mentioned before like it tends to be more reliable than the Blackvue's connectors.
So there's a pros and cons with Blackvue cables. Blackvue connecting cable, it's a coaxial cable, and therefore it's much thinner.
It's thinner, yeah.
Much thinner.
Easier
so it's
to route.
Easier to connect these cables. Hide these cables through your ABC pillars. But if you're not careful enough, when you unplug your dash cam time to time, and if you want to plug it back in, the tiny pin in the center can break or get bent. So that's where what we commonly see actually with Blackvue. Whereas with Thinkware dash cams, they're really thick. The cables are thick.
It's a thick cable.
But there are reasons behind why being thick.
USB specs for long distance.
Exactly.
And stuff,
And at the same time, make sure that the video get transferred onto the micro SD card, because there are a lot of moving parts in the vehicle, radio or satellite radio. Sometimes it can create static noise on your speaker and so forth. And therefore, these cables are much thicker and well insulated. And so to reduce that type of noise, having said that, the cables won't get bent, or there's no way you're gonna break that cable.
Trade-offs, yeah. I know another big area of difference that I found is the different parking mode features. So like I know Thinkware, for example, they have their energy-saving parking mode. So if you're running it in for extended periods of time, the Thinkware can run at a much lower power level and record for much longer than the Blackvue camera does. Plus, they have a new feature with the radar module. Do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about all this?
Yeah, for sure. Thinkware as a company, they've always been very careful about parking mode. And because of their domestic market in Korea, people care so much about parking mode. People actually don't care if the dashcam can read license plate or not. Even the HD dashcams are still being sold. Whereas here, it's either got to be 4K.
You want license plate recording, or else why are you buying a dashcam?
Exactly. But I guess when everybody has, like pretty much 98% of the drivers on the road have dash cams, and therefore it just needs to be like covered when it comes to an accident. Whereas parking mode, that's an important feature.
Yeah.
So I think where dash cams pay really like huge attention to energy consumption. Obviously, you know, energy efficient it is, it can last much longer, and especially if you pair that with a dashcam battery pack like Cellink Neo or so, and they also got their own battery pack. It can last much longer, right? And so starting with F770, they had like a time-lapse mode. So it would be constantly running, and it can basically last for two to three more days compared to motion sensor, because when it comes to motion buffer parking mode, technically it's still running
constantly to get the buffered capability, so it takes a lot of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And starting with F800 Pro and Q800 Pro, they've integrated low energy saving mode, where basically when an impact gets detected, that's when it starts literally writing videos.
So it's a non-buffered parking.
Exactly, non-buffer parking.
And also much lower power recording than maybe some other non-buffered dash cams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now with the U1000, they got this radar sensor, and obviously radar tend to consume a lot less energy, so that it can sense any movement around the dash cam and around the vehicle. And according to the power consumption chart, it can last up to 2 to 3 days just by hardwiring into your vehicle's battery. But again, it depends on where you live and what the condition of the battery is.
Yeah.
And if you pair that up with Cellink Neo, it can actually last up to 6 to 7 days.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. That is really long time.
That's a long time.
It is.
Go for a flight for a week or something, come back and your camera's recording the whole time.
That's true. So
yeah.
So that's what's unique about Thinkware U1000, and this is what I really like about Thinkware dashcams in a way, that it's got all these. They're always trying something new, and funnily enough, now that Thinkware is doing this, Blackvue's also got time-lapse mode, is it?
Yeah, they've got that.
They got the time-lapse mode, but Thinkware is taking literally another step forward by creating this radar module.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I mean, we've been selling U1000 for about less than 2 months now, but almost 99% of customers that are ordering U1000
really
are buying radar.
Really?
Yeah, they do care.
Okay, so let's, I guess, talk a little bit more about the radar module. So basically what it is, it's like a mini looking dash cam essentially that you plug into your U1000, and it connects next to the dash cam. It's an $89 accessory, and the idea is it allows the dash cam to run in a much lower powered state, and the radar it's actually tracking for people coming by or cars driving by. And when the radar senses something, it'll wake up the dash cam, begin recording, and then if there's an impact or something happens, it'll go ahead and save that clip, and if not, then it just goes back to like a really low powered state. Now, I tested it out. The radar module, it does transmit K-band, which means it will false alert any radar detector users driving by. I was really hoping they would use a different frequency. So yes, it will false other radar detectors. It's kind of unfortunate, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, it's a nice feature if you don't mind spending the extra for the radar module and having the extra device on your windshield. And I guess falsing other radar detector users isn't an issue. Then yes, you can definitely get it. And it's a great way to get long-term buffered parking recording, which without this feature, it's not something that's available. It's either non-buffered long-term recording or buffered recording, but for a short period of time. And this is a way to kind of get the best of both worlds, is getting this new accessory.
True.
Now, something that I just found out is it turns out the radar module is designed specifically to only capture other cars in case of a hit and run. The radar module doesn't track smaller objects such as people. So if somebody comes up to your car and messes with your car while you're parked, the radar module is not going to track them. And so the dash cam's impact detection is going to fall back to non-buffered parking recording. And so it'll take about 2.5 seconds for the dash cam to then wake up and begin recording. And so for the radar module, it's best suited to recording other vehicles in case of a hit and run.
One thing to note about the Thinkware parking mode, for a default mode, it's turned off. So make sure when you install one, you purchase one, you install it, and make sure you go into the Wi-Fi app and enable the parking mode that you want. So it's either buffer mode, non-buffer mode, time-lapse mode, and energy-saving mode. So it's got like literally 4 modes. Right?
Yeah.
Four modes.
And if you get the radar module, in order to get this feature, enable the energy-saving option. And there's also another option in the app to turn on the radar module if you have that enabled. So enable those 2 things, and then you'll have it working for you. And then I guess maybe one last thing to mention, since we're speaking of parking mode, they also do it a little bit differently here than Blackvue. With Blackvue, in order to get the parked recording capabilities, it uses the G sensor and the dash cam.
That's true.
Whereas Thinkware, it does the recognition that you've parked your car by the power cable, which has different advantages, right? So tell me a little bit about the differences there.
For sure. So Blackvue is activated by G sensor. What that means is, let's say you park your vehicle about 5 to 10 minutes, and I mean 10 minutes I think to be specific, it goes automatically into parking mode because it senses that you're not moving. I would say that's more traditional way of kicking your dashcam into parking mode. However, with Thinkware or any other Korean dashcams, usually they rely on this power cable. So you're hooking it up to ACC and VATT, which is constant, non-constant, and the ground. And as soon as you park your vehicle, ACC cable won't be receiving any power. So the dashcam knows automatically go into parking mode. So that's also like a fail-proof way of kicking yourself into parking mode. I mean, bringing your dashcam into the parking mode. Whereas with the G-sensor mode, let's say if you're at a border stop or at a traffic stop, like you're literally just jam-packed and you're not really moving, then it can actually go into parking mode
when you don't necessarily want it to.
So that's something that actually we do tend to hear here and there.
Yeah, so it's nice. I mean, I actually recently had an issue with my DR750S not switching into parking mode correctly in my garage. I'm not sure why, so it's actually sent out for repairs right now. And one of the issues, if that doesn't happen, then it just starts overriding all of your driving footage with parked footage because it thinks it's driving, and you wind up losing all the footage that's now getting overwritten. And so I like having the fail-safe of using the cable. The one advantage, I guess, of Blackvue's solution is they have a different accessory for it, like the PowerMagic Pro. And the nice thing about that is if you're parked in your garage for a while and you're like, hey, I don't need parked recording for now, you can just flip a switch and turn off parked recording.
That's right.
And the dash cam will still record when you're driving, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, if I don't need it, I'm going to unplug my dash cam and maybe I forgot to plug it back in next time I drive. Like this is, I think, is a little bit cleaner solution.
It is. I mean, that's I think that's why Blackvue still prefers PowerMagic Pro method.
Yeah.
Just because some people don't necessarily want dash cams to be running even when the vehicle is parked, even though the PowerMagic Pro or the dash cam, sometimes depending on the dash cam, it can actually cut the power off without killing your battery. But some people just don't want that liability to be there whatsoever. And whereas with the Blackvue PowerMagic Pro, it's got switches where you can make it into 12.8 or 12.1, or simply work when your vehicle is only up and running without having to always flicker on and off, or without having to always unplug that cable out of the dash cam. So I guess there's a pros and cons on both ends here.
Yeah, and think where their voltage management, as far as how far the battery voltage needs to drop before the dash cam stops recording, that's actually built into the dash cam itself. Versus Blackvue, it's an external accessory. So I guess maybe to close that out, like the Blackvue itself is a couple dollars cheaper than the Thinkware, but if you want the parked recording capability and you add the PowerMagic Pro, it kind of evens out the price point. So they're going to be roughly the same price. So both of them definitely have their advantages. There's neither dash cam that's universally better in every way, but I think overall right now I would give the edge to the new Thinkware. Yeah, you as well?
Yeah, yes I can. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I guess now another really good option is the Viofo A129 Pro. And this was kind of surprising because I figured this would be, it's half the price of the Thinkware U1000. And it doesn't have some of the features like the cloud capabilities, the really low powered energy saving park recording. There's no radar sensor. So it's kind of missing some of those advanced features, but At half the price of the Thinkware U1000, the video quality is actually pretty comparable, if not, believe it or not, a little bit better. And it has a lot of the core key features that most people need, then you may not necessarily need a spring for the full U1000.
100%. I mean, the price point for, again, like just like the A119 and A129 Duo, it's one of those best bang for buck.
Again, that's kind of Viofo's
Exactly,
strategy here.
a specialty. And I
Yeah.
also like about what I like about the Viofo is they're two brothers that are running the business, and they're actually actively in development side because they have engineering background, so they're the ones that are actually making and perfecting and optimizing their dash cams. Again, I see them every year, and it's just so nice how they're constantly just in that zone to make sure their dash cam is constantly being optimized. Where traditionally you don't really see that from a Chinese manufacturer. And so that's what I like about the Viofo as well, and there's that brand ownership behind it. It's not just random multi-billion, if not multi-million-dollar companies simply sourcing a dash cam and making one, just slapping their logo on it. Whereas with all these dash cams that we're actually talking about, they have their own engineering team, they manufacture them themselves, and they advertise them as well, the marketing side as well.
Yeah, and so you'll notice that, the dash cams continue to get better and better, and it's kind of amazing. I mean, you're recording at 4K for the front and 1080p for the rear. The Thinkware is 2K, so it does have higher resolution in the rear, but I do notice the Viofo has a little bit better detail in the front, which is kind of amazing. I wasn't expecting that until I started looking at the video footage. It also uses a Sony Starvis sensor, so the low light capability is really good here. It's also got buffered parked recording capabilities. It's got GPS, it's got Wi-Fi to transfer video footage. I mean, it's got all the core key features that most people need. And if you don't need the cloud stuff, if you don't necessarily need the super long-term parked recording capabilities, I think this is a great way to actually save some cash. Again, it's like half the price of the Thinkware.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you'll be. It's a good bang for buck for sure.
So the final category that I want to ask you about is rideshare dash cams. So people who drive for Uber or for Lyft. I don't actually know that much about the different options here. So out of all the different rideshare specific dash cams, what would be your top pick?
When it comes to rideshare, we highly recommend Blackvue Dashcams.
Okay.
Just because from 590, 750, all the way up to 900S, they got IR 2CH function, which means it can be mounted front and interior.
To record the inside of the car,
Exactly.
to record the passengers and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Blackvue Dashcams are relatively affordable with the 590, and so rideshare drivers tend to really prefer those if they want to buy something good. And the fact that it's not built into one body makes them easier to place wherever they want to place a secondary camera facing inside. Some people prefer making it really invisible, hide them, or versus someone really wants to just get a really good angle out of it.
Yeah, I know there's a number of options. Thinkware makes some with IR to help light up the cabin at night. I know Vantrue makes some, kind of the unibody that record front and rear in one case. And so I actually want to do maybe a whole separate video with you, just going into more detail about the best rideshare options. But just to, I guess, maybe highlight what's the very best options that are out there. In this case, you'd say it would be the Blackvue IR specific dash cams. Okay, cool. So I guess then maybe to summarize our top picks in all the different categories, for the best budget dash cam, we've got the Viofo A119 V3. The best affordable 2-channel option to record front and out the rear of the car, we've got the Viofo A129 Duo. Moving on to your premium 4K dash cams for the ultimate level of video quality and features, we've got the Thinkware U1000, as well as the Viofo A129 Pro. And then when it comes to the rideshare dash cams, Uber and Lyft, we've got the Blackvue dash cam specifically with the IR capabilities.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so I guess that kind of runs through the list. And then as far as different recommended accessories that are available for the dash cams, what would be some of the accessories that you would recommend?
CPL filters to consider.
Circular polarizer?
Exactly. I mean, Viofo offers them now, Blackvue, and as well as Thinkware.
Yeah, pretty much everybody has them.
It reduces glare on the windshield and video, basically.
Yeah. So you can better see through the windshield in sunny conditions and stuff.
Another one would be battery packs. Cellink Neo battery pack.
Dedicated battery packs to power your dash cam when you're parked.
Exactly. It makes sense because it charges when your vehicle is up and running, and it supplies power, and it lasts much longer than tapping into your car's battery. And this way you're not really you're not putting any pressure whatsoever just because it's not pulling any power when your vehicle is parked. And for, let's say, BMWs and Porsches, they're very sensitive. They're very sensitive when it comes to using dash cams when the vehicle is parked. And as a result, actually, Cellink Neo was invented, Cellink B, and Cellink Neo is a new generation battery pack essentially.
Yeah, and we actually want to do another video sharing the dash cam setups that we run in our car. I know you run a Cellink Neo in your car. I run 3 battery packs in my car, Blackvue and Cellinks and expansions and stuff. So, and we have them wired in differently. So we're going to do another video just showing you our personal setups as well.
Sure.
But yeah, we definitely recommended the battery packs for those of you who want parking mode capabilities.
Yep.
And then I guess maybe finally the last thing I want to mention is I know there's 1,000,001 dash cams that are available in the market.
Yes, especially now.
Yeah, but for this, we've just kind of focused on Viofo, Thinkware, and Blackvue as our top picks. Like, why? I know you guys may have a lot of favorites from many other manufacturers. Why not those other ones? Why are we recommending these?
For sure. At the end of the day, compared to last year's video, we wanted to make sure this video is just specific in terms of which dash cam we highly recommend, rather than recommending 3 per category per se. And we both came to a conclusion that I've been running BlackboxMyCar for quite some time, and we're going into 8th year. When we first introduced these premium dash cams, actually Thinkware even wasn't making dash cams back then.
Yeah.
And Blackvue didn't even have any distribution channels set up in North America whatsoever. Viofo wasn't, I don't think it was established. Amazon even wasn't selling dash cams back then. Yeah. It was really just eBay. And we just came on board and we had to start educating drivers as to why they should buy premium dash cams. Now, fast forward 8 years after, we see now dash cams with, different brands, and Amazon, you go Amazon, there's so many now.
Dash cams, it's crazy, yeah.
With that said, dash cams that we are highly recommending today, they're literally what, Godfather?
Yeah.
Or OGs? OGs of the dash cam field, dash cam market. And for a fact, Blackvue's been making dash cams more than like a decade now. So there's that brand ownership behind creating their dash cam brands and lineups, and we really like that. And I've seen literally the evolution, and you and I both actually seen evolution of the dash cams going over and over, now up to 4K. Who knows, 8K might even come in 2 years or so.
Crazy, yeah.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, from Viofo, I give them big praise just because I know how Chinese market work, and they seem to not really care about brand ownership, whereas Viofo does. And as well as Thinkware and Blackvue, they've been around for so long now, and all these companies, they manufacture to do their business development, to marketing, to manufacture them. Some have factories, like I said in the video, and therefore they're more dedicated about making dash cams compared to any other dash cam brands that are now available. They don't really either make them themselves, or they're just basically adding dash cams to their brand.
There's a lot of companies that just rename somebody else's dash cam as their own. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So because of that, really Blackvue, Thinkware, Viofo, they really just focus on making dash cams. They're not making cables. They're not making any other things other than dash cams. GoPros, action cams for Viofo, but their bread and butter business is dash cams. That's why we chose and came to a mutual agreement that these dash cams are the ones that we highly recommend for this video.
Yeah, and even if we ignore kind of the past history and stuff, like I've tested a lot of other brands of dash cams, and there's a lot of great dash cams out there. The ones that we're talking about here, I like kind of their overall package. Like for example, if we take a look at the Viofo A119 V3, there's a ton of dash cams around the $50 price point, $100 price point. But this one I like, great video quality, daytime and nighttime, uses capacitors instead of lithium-ion batteries, which are much better when it comes to extreme temperatures. The mount is good, it's a lot better. Some of them are kind of flimsy, some are kind of cheapy. The dash cam's form factor itself, the small wedge-shaped design is really nice. The buttons are done really well. It's easy to take the memory card in and out, which you won't always see with dash cams. Like there's a lot of little things like that you'll see some other dash cams may do really well, but they'll be kind of missing some key features, where I like this one. It just does a good job all around. The Viofo A129 Pro, I've got 5 dash cams on my windshield right now, all different 4K dash cams, and the Vantru X4, for example, that's another $200 4K dash cam like the Viofo A129 Pro. Same price point, but the Viofo has better low light performance, smaller form factor. The parking mode capability also supports buffered parking. You can add a rear camera if you want for another $50. It adds Wi-Fi for easier file transfers. The mount itself is more solid because it connects directly to the windshield, whereas the Vantro uses a long suction cup, which then introduces a bunch of vibrations into the video footage, or it may fall off your window. Like, just because it's got similar feature set, or even if it doesn't, like the dash cams that we're picking here, they do a great job overall in terms of being a good package with things that we may not necessarily talk about in this video, because this video is already long enough as it is. And so, like, yes, there's a ton of other great dash cams, and we're, of course, testing other ones all the time, but these are just to kind of quickly summarize, like, these are our top picks as an overall package, despite the fact that there's many other great dash cams that are available in the market. So, yeah. I guess if you guys are looking for any good inexpensive or premium level dash cams, we'll have links to all of the dash cams that we talked about down in the video description, as well as the coupon code that you can use, Vortex25, to save 5% off any of the dash cams that you pick here. So thanks so much, Alex, for helping me shoot this video.
Thanks for having me again this year.
Of course, yeah, good having you.
It's nice seeing you again.
Always
it's been about a year since we shot a video now, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, you need help, whether it's making a decision before you purchase or especially after, one of the things that I really like about BlackboxMyCar is their customer service is really awesome. So if you guys need help with wiring or issues with the dash cam or something goes wrong or whatever it is, you guys do a really great job of actually supporting your customers, and thank you.
Thank you
for that as well.
Thanks. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to us at info@blackboxmycar.com and just check out our website, blackboxmycar.com for US and blackboxmycar.ca for Canadians.
Great. Awesome. Well, again, thanks so much, and thanks to all you guys.
Bye now.
Bye. I haven't even started yet already.
Hey, buddy.